Hello everyone, welcome to episode 4 of the Dungeon Master's Journey. My name's Tom. So after I put my last video on, I got a message from one of my players with some feedback. Feedback I didn't ask for, so I'm going to put it up in this corner so you can see the text message that I got. I was a little bit shocked at first. I was like, alright, you know, the guy knows I'm a new player, new Dungeon Master. I thought I did pretty well, but you know, I'll address the points. But I want to say, first off, I put it on anonymously on it, and this will be anonymous. I'm not even going to say which player it was, which character they play, but I put it on one of the Dungeon Master Resources Facebook groups, and most of the reactions was, "Wow, I love this kind of feedback from my players," because generally I don't get any. So, you know, maybe that I was kind of lying in bed trying to get to sleep, got to be up for work in the morning, heard a ping, looked at my phone like, oh, okay. That's how you feel, but you know, we'll see how it goes forward. But then you know, I posted it online. I had to turn the notifications off after about half an hour because I had about 150 comments, and I thought about taking some of them and put them here, but I think I'll just generalize and say a handful said, you know what, this guy's a bit pushy. If he doesn't like it, you know, you can tell him where to go. But most of them were like, you know what, it's good feedback, good criticism. Just listen to it, and you can see where it goes from here. So the first one, thanks for doing my character sheet. Can't complain about that, or I can. I'm trying to get my players to do their own stuff. I've sent them all links to spell cards they can print off for their own spells. They've all got their own miniature now that they need to paint. You know, I've painted about 30 in the last 3 weeks for all the baddies. They've only got to paint one each and then they're done. Shouldn't be an issue. Point 2. Music worth considering. I have Spotify on my mobile phone if you need it. Well, I never even considered it. It's basically, while I'm being the Dungeon Master, I'm doing a performance. I don't need to be competing with another sound at the table. I don't expect anybody to interrupt us. If the tone of the music doesn't fit the tone that I'm trying to bring, it's not going to work. So for example, when the party split in the last session, the Barbarian and the Paladin went to the blacksmiths and they found Baldo, the half-orc blacksmith, dancing around in his loincloth, laughing at everyone, making jokes. It was a very much a comedy moment. And then it kind of moved very quickly to Tamnith and the Alchemists, when she's, you know, destitute. She needs to make some money, or she's going out of business. You know, she's getting taxed to death off Haleth, and at the same time the Sword of Light driving away our customers and harassing her. Very serious, very much change of tone. The same piece of music doesn't work for both scenes. So if somebody else wants to deal with that, they can do it. I'm not doing it. I don't have the time. Okay, next up. I enjoyed the first half of the game. Well, that's great. The first half of the game was basically one big long combat. Very much planned, very much railroaded, very much, you know, it could have went one of two ways, but it could have only went one of two ways, because that's how I planned it. Unless they all decided to jump off the ship and drown. 3 ways, I suppose. But, you know, they either sided with the dwarves or they sided with the merfolk, and they did the fight. That was it, basically. And then, yeah, I know it's good. I can write a story and I can fit, like, I've studied this, so I can get an arc within an arc. So I'll typically do an encounter to have its own beginning, middle and end, and every session will maybe have 3 or 4 encounters, and the whole session will have a beginning, middle and end, so it all feels like it flows. But so here we go. I know you didn't have your notes. I had 2 A4 sheets printed. I can show them here. There's part 1 of it, of the session notes. What I didn't have was my world building notes. The only thing that the players didn't get was, I forgot one character's name, which I then realised I had on my other notes, and a list of items for sale with the prices. That's all they didn't get. So I know you didn't have your notes, but the pace seemed to slow down after that. I felt there were too many blockers and not enough options for the party. No gold or chance to gain some meant we were wandering around a lot. Players need a little direction. Right. What I tried to do was leave it wide open. I wanted them to explore the town, to visit every place they could visit, and just kind of attach to the hooks. When they realised they were going to need to get this potion for Ellered, what they did was, well, actually, even before that, I think they tried to get some steel to give to the blacksmith to try and get the paladin's shield back. And they went back to the crashed boat, and I was like, yeah, other sailors and other dwarves and friends of the sailors are all already there. And they were like, oh. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to make the world a bit realistic. What do you think is going to happen when a boat crashes? It doesn't just sit there for the characters to come back and rip parts of it. You know, that doesn't happen in the real world. If you were like outside your house right now, like say a lorry turned over in a strong wind and all the contents blew out on the road, you wouldn't expect it all to be there the next morning, would you? People would take it, and then the police would turn up and cordon it off, and the ambulance would turn up and make sure everyone was all right. It's not just going to sit there and wait for somebody to come and say, well, you know what, I need a wheel. That lorry turned over 2 days ago. I'm going to see if it's still there. No, that doesn't happen. So, then they were they went to the Sword of Light camp. They couldn't get in. They weren't going to get in that session because I hadn't planned for that to happen. That would be a ginormous combat encounter, unless they wanted to join the Sword of Light. I don't know. You know, they would have to let me know that was a plan in advance so I could prep for that. They didn't try and get to Uptown. They didn't visit the tavern. They maybe could have, you know, made some money there if they really wanted to, or found out some more stuff. But eventually they got the hook for Haleth and Ellered, sorry. And basically the idea was that they wouldn't have enough gold, so they had to make the moral choice between stealing the potions and putting Tamnith out of business, or saving Ellered's life. And hopefully world building at the time. So this is like, it was basically a world building session, so I can see why it maybe slowed down a bit, but I'm not sure what to take from this. Do the players want to be like more directed? Do they want me to just move them from encounter to encounter to encounter without anything in between, or do they want the freedom to do what they want in between the encounters? So that's what I'm kind of struggling with here. What do I do going forward with this? Now, I've asked all the other players for feedback, and all I've had is like, fine, yeah, great, yeah, fine. Nothing of any real note. So as far as I know, they're all happy with how everything's going, so who knows? Okay, well, thanks for watching. If you've got any advice for me, please leave it in the comments. I'd also really appreciate likes, subscribes, and sharing to your mates, because I just want to get these videos out there and, you know, get people watching us. I'm enjoying making them, and I hope you're enjoying watching them. Thank you very much, and good night.